Well, I saw Björn in backstage, and he was laughing hysterically while talking to Shoya, and I don't know what's going on with him. I really hope he gets some help, but he's got to play the up and downs regardless.
Yeah. Sorry, I wanted to listen to the lyrics for a second, because for the entire season I've been wondering what this song is that we have after the second game, because I like the opening quite a bit. I'm not quite sure if I really like the lyrics. But yeah, you're right.
It's one of those songs where you like the opening because it feels like you're like, oh, BK, you made the right choice for it. This is a great song to play during the GSL, but I would never listen to it in my house or when I was with anybody that I knew.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I would try to find out here. The opening reminds me a little bit of like a lot of anime songs, and also when you play a game, those background musics that you have. That was pretty cool, but yeah, I'm not quite sure if I would listen to the song.
It's like, you know, it's one of these songs. Remember the Daybreak intro from WCS Korea? That was awesome. But then when you look up the song, you're like, oh no!
That Daybreak intro always got me pumped for the matches, but the song itself, when I listened to it at home, it was not quite the same.
The Rusko song, though, on the other Daybreak intro from a long, long, long time ago, was excellent. By the way, why don't we have map intros anymore?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Weird. Yeah. They need to come back. But let's go into another team kill. Lure versus DRG. DRG obviously heavily favored here. Lure doesn't even have an over 50% win ratio.
Yeah, but Lure has played quite well, and he actually faced 2 Zerg players so far. We're going to talk about this a little bit as soon as the match started, but I feel that you're perfectly right. Even though Lure has played a lot against Zerg these days, DRG is still the favorite player. This guy, he's just a killer. He wants to go back into Code S. This is the only Code S round, Code A round that he has to play. He fell down from Code S, but we now have him up against his own teammate. And they definitely practiced a lot with each other in the past. Probably not in the last 2 weeks, but before that, you can assume that they had a lot of games.
I think Lure has been in it with MVP now for almost a year, maybe just over a year after he left OGS, so he's definitely part of the family now, I would say.
You should never underestimate Lure. He's not really a heavy hitter, not the guy that is in the limelight, but he's definitely a strong player. And he's up against a teammate. DRG against Lure. The score is, of course, 0-0 and not 1-1. We are not in the third game just yet. Don't be confused by the overlay. Heading into our first map.
I love how the overlay, when it has to be fixed, it always has to be reanimated. And they there's always some, I'm breaking the fourth wall right now, but they always show the GSL logo for 2 seconds and suddenly it comes back and now everything's normal again.
I like it though. Gives it the official thing that you need.
Uh-oh, our Korean Observer dropped out of the game. What does this mean?
Yeah, we might actually have Rios here. We're going to find out in just a few seconds, so I feel that they could actually just take over and maybe Legend does the observing for both teams. We'll find out in a few seconds. So far, they are still playing. We have DRG up against a teammate. It's Zerg versus Protoss. Aquila Flats is our first map in this best of 3. Let's jump into the game at the GSL Code A in the third round. Callan Wolf. Protoss starts at the top left of the map. He is up against a teammate. He played only Zergs in the GSL Code A season so far. Yes.
MVP Lure.
He may try to lure you into a trap. May try to coerce you into doing something you don't want to do.
Yeah, it could happen.
Be careful around this guy.
Yeah, but also be careful around the guy at the bottom right. His opponent starting for the same team, for Team MVP. This is
MVP DongRaeGu.
What is that probe doing in DRG's intro?
Ruining it.
Well, he does force the pull first.
I have to say that shirt doesn't suit him at all.
Yeah, it's not really working out. I think it looks much better on Lure. He even has the orange keycaps.
Keen can pull it off, DRG can.
Yeah.
Well, talking a little bit about Lure, he faced J-Dom in the first round and won against the EG player with a 2-1. Then in the second round, he had to deal with Effort, another Zerg player for CJ Enters, and Lure won with a convincing 2-0 victory. Now he's up against his own teammate, another Zerg player that he has to face here. And for DRG, this is actually the first game in this Code A season. He fell down a little bit later in Code S, therefore he only has to play 1 game in Code A, and if he takes it, then he is back in Code S. Lure has a 71% win ratio in this matchup.
Yes.
Only a very small sample size of games, 17 in total, 12 wins and 5 losses. But those games that he played against Zerg were quite impressive.
Yeah, this is his matchup. And this is what we what we know and as DRG knows as well. Yeah, he's his teammate. He's watched the games. He's been studying him. They probably sit on the opposite sides of the house right now. It's probably one of those things that's really awkward, but
DRG, on the other hand, is the player who has a lot more experience. I mean, you guys know that he has been around for an eternity. He has done so much, achieved so much in this game. He has 205 wins against, 205 games against Protoss, and of those 205 games, he won 132, which leaves him with a 64% win ratio. So that's pretty impressive. Wolf actually has to sneeze to confirm that.
yeah. That's my confirmation sneeze.
All right.
I have a confirmation cough and sneeze. No farts though. Ask Boom Boom for those.
I can't believe you just did that.
No, you guys can't hear him even if I did.
Well, I can smell him. That's much worse.
Well, silent but deadly, man. I don't know why we started talking about this.
What do we smell?
I was like thinking
what do I
about
smell here? Oh, Wolf confirms. Okay.
Listen, like, I wanted to go in a direction here. I was like, well, what are other things that come out? I'm like, there's a sneeze.
Yeah.
There's a cough. You know, burping for some reason did not come to mind. And so I went down the road of farts. What else is there? Your stomach growls, you yawn. I guess these are things. A yawn, does anything come out? Not really. Something comes in with a yawn.
To be completely honest with you, I think we should change the topic really, really fast.
Sure. Sure, I could agree with this.
That's a probe. Look at
the probe will die.
Yeah, the probe is definitely going to die. And, well, what we have for Lure now is the +1 attack upgrade. The probe is now gone. 3 bases for DRG. He is now going into gas so far. He didn't take an extractor, but now he's going in double extractors. He has the extra queens out there. 3 in total so far, 1 for each hatch. But for Lure, we don't really see tech yet.
Yeah, this is true. This is kind of weird gas, I feel, from DRG. He's showing it, or at least attempting to. And Lure, is he going to try to take this Nexus? Right now he's got 400 minerals. Is he? I think he's actually going to do it. Wow. This is pretty nuts. We've never seen somebody do this on this map yet.
That is, I feel, already the first step in the mind games. We pointed this out when we had the 2 Wounding Star players facing off against each other. This is, of course, also true for the game between 2 MVP players. If you are teammates, you can do so much and try to just outmind your opponent.
DRG, as soon as he saw that pylon, he knew what was up. He starts 18 lings. He is going to go over there and try to force the cancel, but there's already a wall. The thing is, can that wall hold? There's not very many units here, and the rocks have a long way to go. Well, they're dead. I think he's going to have to cancel this next. He's trying to make the cannon, but the gate is already going pretty low on hit points, and the rest of the lings are about to come through. The thing is, he does not have speed. That's the big problem. If he had speed, this would be a lot different.
There are so many Zerglings, though, and he could actually trap those Stalkers. They were so close.
The cannon is almost done. I'm not sure if he's going to actually be able to break through, though.
Nice. The second wall being set up, and this saves him. The second wall definitely saves him.
This is like Hongen versus Fruit Dealer, man, what I'm watching here. He makes a crazy second wall. Gate finishes with 123 hit points left. Ling speed not being done, the big problem here. And Lure now has a third Nexus complete, and DRG has wasted a lot of resource, a lot of larva in these Lings that he can now no longer use.
Exactly. He is at 60 harvests to 50, 3 base against 3 base, and Lure is just sitting there and he's like, well, mission accomplished. The move that DRG is pulling out of his head is an interesting one, though. He goes into a Hydra Den.
And Lure goes into double Stargate.
You know, actually, if Lure plays this smart, he is gonna wipe the floor with those Hydralisks.
Yeah, if he makes enough Phoenixes and pressures with them early and scouts what is going on, he should be fine. Thing is, the Lings are going to be an issue.
Oh
he starts +1 as well for this. This could even be... This could be into carriers that we're going to see here off of 3 base. That's something we've seen from Lure in the past, in fact.
Lure definitely took he took a lesson from Heart of the Swarm. We see a lot of Sky Toss and that add-on, but now we also see it in Wings of Liberty.
Lure like tries to make a Mothership Core, it doesn't work, and then he just sees a GG and leaves the game.
There is the Scout, though.
Yeah, Scout sees it. And it is, in fact, going to be Phoenixes.
Oh, this is going to be so cool right now. This is going to be... who takes the first big engagement is going to win this. He even goes into the fleet beacon now.
Yeah.
He could go for the range upgrade, he could go for the mothership.
I think he will go for carriers as soon as he holds off the first wave of Hydras.
Yeah, carriers as well. All these options that he has now. This is actually now really interesting. And with DRG scouting this, he builds Spore Crawlers, but we now have so many Hydralisks being produced.
Lure, one problem for him is that he does not know what he's facing and he doesn't know about Hydras. He's making cannons, which will let him defend against the Hydras fairly decently, but he is, you know, he has to get up here and find out what's going on because he needs to stop making Phoenixes because against this many Hydras, they're not useful. He needs to get some carriers out. He needs to rely on those cannons and make a few more gateway units, to be perfectly honest. He has a huge bank right now, but he's not spending it. The fleet beacon is done now.
He could... there comes the attack. This is really DRG trying to hit the timing here.
4 more cannons, going up 5 more cannons.
How many Hydras do we have? 26 now.
I don't know if Lure can hold this because he didn't scout early enough the Hydras are coming and now his cannons are just not quite ready yet. The gateways buy time, but Hydras are pretty good at knocking those cannons down. Oh, and he buys the Phoenixes over the Hydras! No! Why?
Oh. That was Lure just giving DRG a bit of a, not really a free
Oh, and the
win.
Lings get in, he has nothing to block.
Oh,
the cannon's taking some extra damage here. The carrier that's on the way is not going to make a difference here.
No, this is so much damage done already. A 50 supply lead for DRG here. Just waits to get his units together. He's now going into another base. So many resources here lost for Lure already.
And Lure
with those
made
cannons.
so many cannons. He made, discounting the cannons that already died, in total he has 14 cannons on the map right now. So he had even more than that. I think like 3 of them died.
Oh my god, they
on the
were
right side
all
are
the
unpowered.
Atosis pylon.
Oh, this is desperation mode now. He drops some force fields here. He has to buy time for those carriers, but the carriers still have to build interceptors. I just don't see him holding here. He starts to lift up the Hydras.
He even builds 2 additional starports, but Stargates, but this is really not going to matter anymore. There are way too many Hydralisks. They take down the wall. They take down the cannons. They take down everything. The hopes of Lure in shambles.
GG. I like his build, but DRG just had too much, and he made a few mistakes. For example, those Phoenixes, if they had still been around, he would have been able to hold a little bit longer.
I feel today is opposite day, Wolf. Lure is suddenly cracking up this big smile, and DRG is looking all serious. It's a little bit like Gumi versus Björn again. Look at that, he's starting to laugh. Something's wrong with the booth to the left side.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there, but DRG is bouncing quite literally in the seat. He knows, as well as you and I do, DRG knows that if he had not broken through there, he would have had a big problem against that third base.
If anyone shows me this picture after a game and I don't know how it ended, I would say, okay, well, Lure apparently won. I don't know how, but DRG is down to get the map now. Which is not the case. DRG is in the lead, but I agree with what you said, by the way. The build that Lure showed was pretty cool, taking this early third Nexus.
It was just different, you know, we've never really seen something like this on this map. Lure has, like Genius in the past, gone carriers on 3 base. We've even seen San do this a million years ago, but this is just not something you see anymore.
And think about what happens when DRG decides to not go into the Hydra immediately, but starts with the Roach Warren.
Yeah.
Then suddenly you can't do really a lot. If he wants
Your
to bust
Phoenixes aren't going to help you
with
at all.
Roaches, then the Phoenixes can pick them up. Like this, the Hydras were just too strong, and the timing for DRG, I mean, immediately when he saw the wall, he bam, put down the Hydra, and even before we saw the double Stargate opening.
Yeah. He even started the Lings before he saw the Nexus. He just knew. Maybe this is something Lure does a lot in practice, so he knew exactly what to do to try to punish him. We are now in Daybreak, game number 2. Can DRG, the final boss, eliminate his teammate, knock him down to the up and downs? Or will things tie up here at the GSL Code Cast by Counter?